This will probably be quick because there's not much to say. But Typo Negative's second album was contractually supposed to be a live recording, which is something that Roadrunner Records wanted them to do. What did they do instead with the money? They bought cheap vodka and went to the basement of one of the members and just re-recorded their first album, only signaling and sampling in live crowd audiences. And apparently this live crowd did not enjoy Typo Negative's set that night whatsoever. This also features reinterpretations of some of the tracks from their debut album, Slow, Deep, and Hard. And it is also one of the very strange albums where the tongue-in-cheek humor of Peter Steele and the boys included a bomb threat at the same venue. The tongue-in-cheek humor here is it's really classic on this particular release because they went so far as to actually fake that one of their concerts was being frequented by probably some of the worst fans known to man. And basically, Typo Negative, being the brash Brooklyners that they are, were taking them on head on. They didn't give two shits. They just basically said fuck off and continued playing. This also contains two versions of Kill You Tonight. It contains a short version and also a long reprise. And the longer reprise actually samples the Beatles in there. It also has Hey Pete, which is simply a cover of Hey Joe by the Jimi Hendrix Experience. And also a cover of Paranoid that samples in Iron Man. And I gotta say, this cover, which is only on the special deluxe edition of this album, is exquisite. This is a fantastic cover done in the trademark gothic style that Typo Negative has really made famous. Now, for those of you who have listened to Slow, Deep, and Hard, you might think, well, why in the world would I want to listen to it all over again, only in a fake live setting? Well, it's because they've reworked the arrangements a little bit. This is not necessarily going to be just a queued up reversion of the same album that you just heard. Instead, these tracks have been tinkered with a little bit. The timing is a little bit different, and the overall arrangement of the tracks has been redone. That way, it does have a fresh take to it. Along with a fresh take, it also comes with fresh names, including I Know You're Fucking Someone Else as the mammoth 15-minute long opener. And whenever you have that as your opening track, well, you definitely can tell that there's something different. First-time listeners may look at the track listing of this album and think to themselves, wow, when did they write these songs? When did these songs appear? Whereas seasoned veterans will actually know that it has something to do principally with one of the tracks off of Slow, Deep, and Hard. And of course, the covers are just kind of open for hypothesis. Paranoid's pretty easy, and Hey Pete could easily mean just about anything, but astute music fans will kind of constitute by Peter Steele and the boys' subtle humor that it's probably a take on Hey Joe by the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Now overall, whenever you listen to this album, this is something that you're really going to be enjoying just because you can. There really isn't that deep of a market for something like this except for diehard Typo Negative and music fans, and people that just kind of enjoy something that is really different. There's kind of a Frank Zappa-like take on the humor here, only it's taken to the dark side and really taken to the extreme. The idea of an unruly fan base is something that I myself actually sampled in one of my comedy offerings that I did a couple of years ago with some friends, and I didn't even realize that it could be constituted as a subtle tribute to the origin of the FECES, as the fact that I really didn't even realize that that was what the origin of the FECES was all about at the time. But now whenever I look back, it's kind of funny that that is exactly what kind of came to be. If you guys want me to actually share that track, I can do that. Overall, this is an album that is going to really kind of give listeners a little something special, only because it is so absolutely over the top and ridiculous, but the music is still diabolically solid, not to mention the clarity of it is fantastic. Considering this was just a re-recording as opposed to it being truly a live venture where you have to undergo a lot of different hurdles and obstacles in order to get the most pristine sound quality that you possibly can for the recording. Since this was recorded in a basement, it instead has and maintains a very rich sound quality, almost as though these were being recorded for a full-length studio record. The dubbing noises are barely stock, and that's kind of the point. The point is not for it to be way too, true to life or true to form. It's supposed to be perceived as a joke, as opposed to really be taken ultimately far too serious for anybody to really, notice the difference between fact and fiction. What you get here, though, the real gem are the two cover songs. Hey Pete is a fantastic rendition of Hey Joe, done in a trademark typo negative gothic style, something that is really just able to give you a fresh and new stance on the Jimi Hendrix Experience and all other subsequent versions of that song. And of course, like I mentioned previously, on the special edition, Paranoid/Iron Man is just probably one of the best covers of that song I have ever heard. Whenever you're able to extend a song that is no more than 2 minutes and 30 seconds long to 7.5 minutes and still make it sound damn good, and blend in another one of their huge hits at the same time, you really have a nice grip on not only your music, but the music of others. This album also has moments that absolutely shred, and Peter Steele's vocals sound absolutely rich, not to mention brutal. Damn. Now, I don't mean brutal in the death metal variety, I'm just saying that all the screams, all the shrills, everything is not held back just because this is supposed to be a joke album. In fact, if anything, they seem equal, if not more so intense than they did on the actual album itself, Slow, Deep, and Hard. So overall, this is one of those rare gems that if you could find it, yeah, definitely pick it up. You might listen to it and think it's absolutely 100% motherfucking ridiculous. And if you think that, that's the point. Congratulations, you understand, and you get the joke. And now, whenever you play it for friends, you can be the one laughing while they struggle to wonder what this shit is going on.